Let's talk about this Padres situation with Kike Hernandez real quick. And then I'm going to get into this Blake Snell conversation. Because I really think Cody Bellinger has set the stage for Blake Snell to come back to the Padres. Because eventually the Padres, or not really the Padres, but eventually Blake Snell is going to get tired of sitting around coaching travel ball, which I know he's having a great time doing that. I love that he's coaching kids. It's so cool. Giving back. So cool. But the Boris 4 is now the Boris 3. There's 3 guys left. And one of them is Blake Snell. Cody Bellinger yesterday got a 3-year, $80 million contract where he's got to get $30 million in 2025. He's got to get $30 million in 2024, $30 million in 2025 if he doesn't opt out, and $20 million in 2026 if he doesn't opt out after the second year with the 2 opt-outs. That's pretty much, to me, a newer version of a prove-it deal. Which, didn't Cody Bellinger just have one of those years? A prove-it year? Didn't he prove it? Holding out for too much money? He gets paid, but he also has the opportunity where if he really outplays his contract, he could go back into free agency. He is really betting on himself on the 3-year, $80 million deal because he could have signed a longer one, about $20 million a year, no problem. I think it's kind of a steal for the Cubs. But do you think Blake Snell would take something like that? It would be a little bit more because he's a pitcher. But the 3-year deal with a couple of opt-outs, a little bit more team-friendly, get back into camp, go to a place that you're familiar with. You don't have to change anything. You understand the pitching coach. I could see it opening the door for Blake Snell to return as a San Diego Padre. Now, I don't know anything going on behind the scenes on that particular deal. There's no information that I know about this. But with Cody Bellinger's contract, I think Blake Snell can return to the Padres. Add him to that rotation. That kind of shores up a lot of things with this 26-man roster. Your rotation right now has got 3 guys definitely set with Darvish, Musgrove, and King. You add Blake Snell to that, that's a we can make a run in the playoffs rotation. That's not a just make the playoffs rotation. That's a we can make a run in the playoffs rotation. You already got a bullpen that can do it. I mean, the bullpen, we're going to get to this when we come back at 9 o'clock. But you already got probably 5 guys committed to that bullpen with a lot of lively arms battling for 3 spots. You add Blake Snell to the pitching staff. That is a playoff winning rotation. Not just making the playoffs, but getting into the playoffs. You would have to be some luxury tax issue, battle back, yada, yada, yada. I'm okay with the roster you got and adding Blake Snell. I think you're going to be in a good spot. I like it. Kike Hernandez. Let's talk about him for 2 minutes before we go to break. Here's what Ken Rosenthal had to say about Kike Hernandez and the Padres in particular, because he's a finalist. Padres are a finalist for him. Padres could really use a lefty hitter with power, but they aren't exactly in a position to be picky, and Kike would fill another glaring need. At the moment, Fernando Tatis Jr. is San Diego's only proven starting caliber outfielder. Jackson Merrill has a good chance of making the team primarily as an outfielder, but he's a 20-year-old prospect who has spent most of his life playing shortstop. Again, I don't think it matters in the outfield. This guy's an athlete at the highest level. Jurickson Profar's return is finally official, but the Padres would prefer to use the veteran as more of a bench bat. Like Profar, Hernandez is an early 30s player coming off a poor offensive season. However, the Padres would more confidently project him as a big league regular, and he can still play center field, where the team's other options include Jose Azocar, Jacob Marcy, and Jackson Merrill. who is learning multiple outfield spots as he tries to break into the majors. That's from Ken Rosenthal. I think you could do worse than Kike Hernandez in center field. I mean, that's where we're at right now for the Padres. Well, I guess you could do worse than Kike Hernandez. Couldn't do it. I don't know about that. I don't mind Kike Hernandez in the Padres. I think he fits the Padres club. I think he'd be a good piece to this Padres club. I think he'd be a good asset. I think it helps your bench out a little bit more. It eliminates the opportunity to potentially throw Jackson Merrill to the Wolves to start the season. Kind of ease him into it and get him some reps in AAA and get him some more reps in AA before you pull him up. So I'm not opposed to it, and he's not going to cost you anything. I mean, he what, like $1 million, maybe 2, 3 at the most. I'll take that for Kike Hernandez. Padres could use some placeholders, but the more this continues, the less I think they actually are going to sign some placeholders, even though there's some available. One of the big dominoes to fall for position players is Cody Bellinger. So hopefully that opens the door for some things coming up in the next couple of weeks, because the Padres could really use some more help aside from their young guys. We're going to fully break that down as we take a look at the 26-man roster. There are a lot of spots battling right now. A lot of position spots up for grabs. We're going to talk about that when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.